I gotta replace the drum on this GE electric dryer. The drum started to crumble on the edge. So I got a new drum from GE Parts and a belt and wheel kit from Amazon. Gotta figure out how to take this apart. There's the model and serial number. And that's what it looks like. Wish me luck. Looks like there's a tab right there. It pops off. It's got a 1/4 inch. Two 1/4 inch drive screws there. There's a little bolt that goes into this little slot. So when you take this off, you gotta bend it out and push it that way to get it off this bolt. And then it just comes off. Pressing on that tab over here did not help much, so I used a little screwdriver, pry it off. To get this off, you have to press on the bottom of this phone jack thing. I think the next part to take off this skin is going to require this one, this one, this one, and this one. But I noticed these are star drive, and this looks like almost like square drive. Probably a Phillips. I don't see anything on the bottom, so it probably just pops off. So I'm gonna do that. So these are number 25 star drive. These are just Phillips, and these are 1/4 inch hex drive. After removing those screws, I just pulled on this door handle from the bottom. I pulled up and the door was released. There's a plug right here and it just separates. I did not detach the door from the front frame. This is what it looks like now. This is the electric version. All the parts I took off so far. Next is the top cover. There's this like bolt here. It goes in there, so you gotta slide it forward and up. Just lifts out. This wire harness has to be released. Yeah. Squeeze it from the back.
And I'm gonna make like.
From this point on, you're dealing with razor sharp sheet metal. Best to put on some gloves. This harness has to be released. Right here from the back. This plug and this plug right here. You have to press down hard right here for this plug to release. I'm gonna zip tie this harness to this board here so that this doesn't get caught in something when I'm taking the drum out. Next, I'm going to try to remove this faceplate here. Looks like bolts here, 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 here. One right there too. One right there. This just slides down.
That's dirty. That's full of junk. So that thing you're spinning spins that thing?
Yeah, the motor spins both the drum and the fan.
At the same time?
At the same time. You just pull up on this and the little tabs come out and it releases. You just pull the drum up a little bit off those wheels and this pops off. This is where it's at right now. All the parts taken off.
How quickly?
The only thing I probably shouldn't have taken off is this door latch. This could probably stay on because the door doesn't have to come off for this. That's what the damage to the drum looks like. And it's cracking. Down the line you could see crack developing. There's the belt. There's the belt drive setup. There's a spring-loaded belt tensioner. If you push it up, it releases the belt.
What's the third thing that you cannot with this rolling toolbox?
Once you release the belt, just take it off that roller. It becomes free. Take it off the other roller. You could just take it off the drum and pull the drum out. There's a drum.
Yeah, did it shrink a little bit?
There's the dryer. I'm not sure if this has a front or a rear. It looks fairly symmetrical on both sides.
When I grow up and I get a pony or horse, I'll call my pony or horse Clody. Clody? Clody.
The next thing I'm going to do is compare the new belt size to the old belt size. And compare the wheels and replace the wheels if they're compatible. They look about the same. Looks like the new belt is a little bit thicker than the old belt, or maybe the old belt is worn out or something. The new wheels look similar. There's this nut on the back.
Hey Dad.
Hold on, Tom.
Is the Lizzie's?
Hold on. but there's no access. I think I have to take this back cover off to put the rear wheels on. And then the front wheels are accessed right there on the front panel. So I'm gonna work on that one first. Looks like you could take this little plastic retainer, bend it out a little bit from this groove, and the wheel just comes off. Old wheel, old retainer, new wheel, new retainer. Just use the socket to push that retainer on into position. Both the old and the new bearing surfaces were dry. I think this is some kind of impregnated material that has lubrication built in, because this is a high heat environment. So I'm not going to put any extra lubrication here. Just wanted to bring that up. Put the two rear wheels on, now the front. This takes a 14mm socket. Got a small impact here. Gotta hold on to it from the other side. The other side is a 10mm socket. Nice. Perfect. One new wheel installed. Make sure you don't miss that washer. No washer on the outside. Both new wheels installed. I noticed that this wheel is severely worn and hacked up, and it looks like, I'm not sure why, probably so the rubber is also very hard. It's not flexible at all. Before I start reassembly, I'm going to take off that faceplate, take apart that fan housing a little bit, blow everything out with compressed air, and then blow this door out, all these components here. I'm going to take this outside and close the garage door so this doesn't end up all in the garage. And then once that's done, I'm going to start reassembly. Took this faceplate off. Well, it looks cleaner. A little bit of a compressed air. Alright, first reassembly steps. I'm gonna put these screws on. I think this goes right here. I washed and air dried the compressed air. These parts, this one I didn't wash, just dried, because there's some electrical component. I think that's a temperature sensor or something. I don't want to get it wet. But these I washed. It's the new drum. Old drum. Gonna shove it in there. Man, this coating on this drum is incredibly heat conductive. Just like 30 seconds in the sun and it's already as hot as it could be. As it should be. Just wish it was a little bit thicker, but it's probably this thin for efficiency. See a weld mark there. So I gotta get it on these wheels right here. So I gotta get that cover over here. But before I put the cover back on, I'm gonna put the belt on. I think I'm gonna need the cover to hold this drum back because it just slides off those wheels inside without the cover. So I'm gonna put the belt on first. So the first thing I noticed is that this gets in the way when I'm trying to put that in. So I'm gonna zip tie it out of the way. So I zip tied that out of the way so I could work on putting this cover in. This is gonna be interesting. I feel like I need a second pair of hands for this, but I'll try. Okay, after a very short time I realized playing with this thing in there is not gonna be fun, so I took it out, put it on the side, and I was able to line it up. You gotta kind of bend this felt and then use a little bit of force to snap the wheel over this felt, and then it snaps in place. It's pretty tight fit, but I went in, and now that it's snapped in place, it kind of holds on as long as you don't pull it up on this side. So I'm gonna try keeping this part and the drum together. It's holding on here, and then put this whole thing in there, and then the hooks, this hook and that slot go in that slot, and right here. Yeah. I stood it up on its end. Stood up the drum on its end and taped the belt down to the drum so that I could put it in there, because I can't hold it while I'm playing with this thing, and once the faceplate goes on you can't put the belt on because it's going to be blocked. So that's my solution for the belt. These sides are really wobbly, so I'm going to put one side against the table so I have something hard to press against when I'm trying to put the drum faceplate on. Otherwise I'm just going to be moving out of the way. So I just placed it in there. It's not in on the wheels in the back yet, but I'm just holding this tight so the wheels don't fall off the front, and I'm gonna try to push it from in the inside. I'm gonna push it on those wheels and then land at least one of these hooks so that it could support itself. Alright, wish me luck. Attempt number 1 was a fail. Turns out I don't need to care about these side walls, I need to care about the back. When I push the drum in trying to get it to pop over the wheels, it takes enough force to move the whole thing. So I'm going to set it against my car so that I have something solid to push against. Alright, attempt number 2. There we go. So I put it on. It's kind of on the wheels, but not all the way. But the problem I'm having is if I put this side in, this side pops out. So what I'm going to do is put one screw in, pop the other side in, put a screw in, and then I'm just going to turn the drum, and hopefully it will completely ride over, the wheels will ride over this lip and pop onto the groove. Let's see how that goes. Got both screws on. The bottom is not in yet. So now I'm going to try and turn the drum and press down here so it pops over those wheels. In theory it should pop in and you should not be able to see most of that felt ring. Let me try. So it did pop in. Put the 2 screws on the bottom in, so now it's all connected. Doesn't spin very easy. So I want to check the back wheels and see if they're riding in the groove or yeah. Also looks like there's a big gap at the bottom, but a small gap at the big gap at the top, small gap at the bottom. So I'm gonna check that out. Well, that seems to have worked. All 4 wheels are riding in the groove right here. The felt doesn't seem to be kinked anywhere. It is a little bit stiff to churn compared to the old one. I think it's probably because it's brand new felt and because it's not assembled completely yet, so it's kind of sitting a little bit bulged out to the sides and tilted forward. I think when I put all the panels on, it's gonna recover in the way it sits and be more aligned. The next step is to put this belt on. So the belt was with the grooves towards the down towards the drum. So I'm gonna do that next. To make my life easier and put on this belt, I'm gonna put this dryer on its back so that I have easy access to that tight space right there. Drum, tensioner pulley and spring that pulls on it. The belt goes around over the motor like that. To make your life easier, you gotta pull this out and jam something in here so it doesn't retract while you're lining up the belt on and putting it on the pulley. And once you're done, pull your screwdriver or whatever out, and this will pull in and tension the belt. Since the belt has a tendency to fall while you're working with it on the back, I just taped it to give myself some leverage to deal with that belt tensioner. I'm using these vice grips. Almost said channel locks, but I realized these are vice grips. Well, after playing with that for a couple of minutes, I realized there's probably a better access. I realized there's a plate here in the back, so I'm gonna take that off, and there's probably a better access from here to put the belt on. Yeah. Yep. This will be a lot easier to deal with and see. Well, got the belt on the bolt. Now I'm going to take the tape off on the top so that the belt is free, and then put it on the pulley, on the tensioner pulley. Got the belt on the pulley and the tensioner pulley. Now I'm just going to spin the drum, make sure the belt is facing the right way all the way around. The grooves are supposed to be facing inward towards the drum, towards the pulley on the motor. Okay. Put the back cover on. Alright, reassembly of the front. I think this came off right here. I didn't see it. I'm going to straighten those legs out with a pair of needle nose pliers and put it on here. Let's see if that works. Alright, 1, 2, 3 screws. Whoops, I put these two on too early. This has to slide in over that, and then you put these two screws on. Alright. This goes in here. Alright, now I'm going to free all these wires and put this in here. Alright, wire harness freed. This screw is in. Now it's this plate. This little screw is to the right side of the machine. This wire harness goes down. This one goes through this hole. And don't forget to put in these clips. This one goes in here. And these clips here go in these holes there. And this upper plate has two different screws. Don't know why. These fine threads, I think they go in the top, and the coarse threads go in the bottom. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. Harness is in. Harness is in. This goes to that. That goes to the door. This guy goes to that. So I'm going to make all the connections I can now, and then start putting the door on. I think before I start putting the door on, I'll put the door latch on so that this door is not just wobbling while I'm dealing with it. Alright. I think this is called the number 25 Torx or Star driver. Anyway, oh, look at that. Gotta clean that up. I put the door latch on so I don't have to deal with the door wobbling while I put this whole door frame on the dryer. I taped the two connectors for the control bar to the top so that it clears this area, because I gotta hang the door over there. This connector here goes to the door lock that's located right there. Before you put the door panel on, make sure this connector is connected and this temperature sensor connector is connected. Here we go. There are these hanging tabs. I go in there. I put that door lock connector on, hung it up and put it on its back again. It's easier to get these in while it's on its back. I'm also getting tired, so I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. Basically, move it forward until it falls down into the slots and then move it back. That's good. put the 4 screws in, and then you could stand it back up. Once you put these 4 in, don't forget to put those 4 in. Now it's time for the top cover. When I bought this thing, I stepped on it and it bent, so I'm gonna take the time to straighten it right now. I'm gonna tap these high spots with a rubber weighted hammer until it looks straight enough, and then put the cover back on. It looks a little bit better. These here go on here. Put this on, slide it back, put these 4 screws in, pop this connector in over there, connect this guy over here, slide this onto that, put these 2 screws in, and then I think that's, and then the cover goes on, and then the cover, side cover screw and mini cover. The connectors are in. These 3 screws gotta go in. Sorry, 2 screws. This plate goes on, slides on. I have that screw that goes in there in that cover, and 1 extra screw. I'm not sure where this came from. I'm sure maybe if I rewatch all the videos I'll see it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it'll be fine. Let's see. Drives together. Sun is down. 1 extra screw. Time to put it back in. Alright, power's on, water's on. Vent is connected.
Everything's on.
First try. Towels. Hallelujah. It works.
But why did you start without anything inside?
Whew.